Alright, well, happy Friday afternoon, all. It's MotoGP time. The Cub's going to the racetrack. And she's a little overloaded, typical Super Cub style, doing her hard work. I don't have proper luggage that I want to put on there, so I'm using stuff that I have for my other ADV bikes, and it fits the rear rack okay. This DrySpec D66 has that internal stiffener in it, so even if I hang it off the edge, it doesn't sag or do anything silly. Everything I've got here, I weighed out the whole pack, including the fuel bottle. I'll talk about that in a second. Right at 42 pounds, so that's quite a lot. But I'm not going light today. I'm taking up a full camp complement, tarp, chair, table, tent, sleeping pad, God, what else? Camera gear, lots of camera gear, laptop for mobile editing, solar panels, you name it. Everything in there, 42 pounds. I only need, a third of that, really, for a normal camping trip, but I thought I'd go ahead and load it up and go full tilt boogie on it. This is the Dual-Sport AirHawk pad, and it does fit the seat better. So if anybody's looking for a seat pad to go on top of the Honda seat on the Cub, this should work out well. I'll be able to give my opinions more as I do the ride here, but as far as fit, this does better than the Cruiser Small, because the Cruiser Small has that crescent cutout right here, and it leaves your boys hanging off the end, and that's not very comfortable. Anyway, that works all right. $100. So if anybody's wondering what I've got here, I fashioned up a center stand puck system because we don't get a side stand, and it's supposed to be rainy and nasty in Austin this weekend, late tonight through tomorrow morning. It's our typical rainy weekend thing that we haven't been able to shake out of for almost 5 months now. It's going to get muddy there, so the Cub not having a side stand, you don't have 3 points to support and one single puck to help widen that out. So I just Siamese two of these guys together with some paracord, spaced them 5 inches apart, which fits the width of the center stand pads down there pretty well. So I just lay them down in front of where I think the center stand is going to be, roll the bike forward a little bit, step on it, and lift the bike up. Works like a champ. Anyway, that's the loadout. I'm going to go ahead and mount up, get going. Oh, last thing, I guess, before I get going. I'm going to run the tank dry on this thing. I'm going to try to see what kind of range I can get, how far it continues going after the flashing low fuel indicator. So I'll go ahead and run her dry. And this is 887 mil. I do have it full right up to the line, so I'll still be able to track the fuel economy accurately. But I'll do the roadside stop, fill this guy up, and then when I get into Austin, I'll refill the bottle. I doubt that I can make it all the way to Austin without that help, but we'll see. All right, all. Get this show on the road. She's a little top heavy, tail heavy with that bag on there. I can feel it. It's all right. Handle's fine. Get myself comfortable here. The bags back there almost give a good backrest. Not quite close enough forward, but it handles differently with all the weight on the back because it's up high, I think. If it were down lower, it wouldn't be quite as noticeable. So I'll finish that pannier idea of mine. And one of my viewers, commenters, gave me a great idea. Thank you so much, sir. I'll try an upholstery shop to do the modification on those bags, the panniers, because the 2 or 3 sewing shops, alteration shops that I contacted they said they didn't have the materials, they just weren't really interested in doing it, which I guess makes sense because it's not really clothing. So an upholstery shop is a fantastic idea. Thank you again, sir. I'll do that when I get back from this trip, and I would imagine that they can do that in short order. No big deal. They'll have all the parts with pieces of fabric, and they could probably even do the Velcro and everything else that I'm thinking about for the variable width. Taking it really easy with the corners until I get used to the weight on the back. The AirHawk is pretty comfy. I've got it aired up a little bit too much right now. I feel kind of tippy sitting on top of it. You have to play with the air adjustment in these things. Oh, that's cool. Put the cab open on that for service. You have to play with the air adjustment on these AirHawks to get just enough air in them that they're a tiny bit spongy but not firm at all. When you sit on it, it changes, obviously, because you're distributing all that air everywhere. And you just want it to kind of fill in the gaps. You don't want it to really lift you up and make you feel squirmy, squishy on there. Once you get them adjusted right, they are fantastic. What the hell are you doing, man? The road's over here. Get off your phone or whatever you're doing. It's an old lady, but man, this is dangerous. I'm stopping here at Walmart so I can pick up some silicone earplugs. Now that was something else that I saw in one of the I think it was one of the audio forums. I can't remember exactly where I saw that little jewel of info. For the GoPro microphone attachment over here on the side, once you take that little side door off, these things are no longer weather resistant. Water gets in there and it could short things out, make a mess out of your day. But silicone earplugs, I hadn't thought of that. So there's even the waxy, spongy, whatever they are. I'm just going to grab one of those and mash it in around this microphone connector, and voila, the thing is pretty much water resistant again. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back with you. All right, I'll try to record this little process here. On my helmet rig that I have set up here, the GoPro is just sitting on the front, and just noticed it's a little crooked. I can fix that. Anyway, so this port is open where the microphone connector goes in. I just grabbed these silicone earplugs per somebody else's recommendation. I think I'm going to do just about half of it. Mold it around here a little bit. I could be doing this wrong, but this ought to work. So what I'm going to do is plug up the hole as best I can and seal that top edge where water would be kind of coming in. I think that might just work. Of course, it's not going to be fully waterproof, but it'll go a long way toward not letting water in there just for splashing in the rain. So here's the other half of that one. I'll show it over here on the side of this other camera. Getting it out might be a trick, but okay, done. Now I'm going to take a little dibby dabby of this one and fix this charging pass-through problem. So maybe I should rethink that. Let's go 2 chunkies of that. Go around the top edge of that microphone plug too. There. It's a little goofy and ugly, but you know, that'll work for rain. As long as it doesn't short out, I'm a happy guy. Okay, good enough. Time to get on the road. Oh, one last thing. Since there's no tank bag or anywhere to put anything up on the front of this yet, I've got a shad thigh bag. It can be used on your arm or your leg. I forget what they call it, but I've had this for years. I've used it on my other scooters and works well. So that's how I'm transporting the phone instead of having it in the jacket or back here in one of the other bags. Okay. Hopefully the adapter's working. So I haven't switched over to my dedicated audio solution that I was talking about. That'll be there eventually. The problem right now with Hero 567 series is that the microphone is external and there's nothing you can do about it. That's just by design. GoPro, these adapters are buggy. They sometimes cause the audio to not record. But it's not fixed. They work for a while, but don't work. The bigger issue is there are none available right now. It seems like around the world. A while. Amazon out of them. The only people that have them that charge us because the cost of the camera shot up from $49 to $175 and change for anybody that happens to have them. Even on GoPro's site, they're out. So I would like to order another. Specification. We've already got Bluetooth connectivity and data features. So ADCP or whatever it is, microphone, music profile. That's all they would have set up. I don't know. They didn't ask me. Maybe the 8 will have that feature built in because everyone has been complaining about this audio adapter problem for so long. Maybe that's why I had a thought about making same story. They're already getting severe storms and wind and everything. I know that the forecast tonight is rain through the late night hours and all the way through tomorrow about after that blows out, the rest of the day is supposed to be just partly cloudy but no rain. And then Sunday is shaking. Alright, well, I was going the right direction by instinct or accident, I don't know which. I just consulted Google Maps and turned it on routing mode, turned off all the highway stuff. Hopefully it's going to keep me on the side roads as much as possible. I've noticed that it has a habit of putting you on highways even when you tell it not to, but it would be nice if you could say, you know, surface streets like this only, because I'm sure that they all interconnect in some way or another. It's probably just really roundabout, so the routing option doesn't bother trying to give you that. I upgraded my Garmin Zumo to the 396, and it does have the twisty routing option. I haven't played with that yet, and there's nowhere to mount it on this yet, but I look forward to trying that out on some of my other bikes. Yep, cows are all laying down. Storm's coming. Temperature has dropped probably 5 to 7 degrees in the last 20 minutes or so. up toward Austin, traveling up Highway 71, there should be quite a few of the blue bonnets and the little orange and purple flowers. Speaking of nowhere to mount things on this, I got the shipping notification from minimoto. I don't know if I'm saying their name properly, however that works. The reseller out of Italy. They sent me my tracking notification for the GV windscreen. So with those uprights on that windscreen, that'll give me a place to mount a phone holder, so I could just have a phone or GPS or something sitting right up here behind the edge of that windscreen. That'd be great. I'd still, I got kind of a mixed opinion on whether I want anything up here or not, but I'll definitely try out the windscreen, see how it looks, how it works, and if I just don't like it for aesthetics reasons, then I might take it off, but we'll see. Totally unrelated note, I took the Cub around the block last night over to the filling station at the Walmart, and I noticed there was another Riker owner pulling into a neighborhood just across from that little shopping center area. So there are more Riker owners out there in the world. I haven't run into them yet, but be nice to find a small group of people to have get-togethers and little rides, and I haven't had any riding groups in quite a few years. I've got mixed opinions on big group rides as well, because those can get a little dangerous depending on the skill level and personality of those people in the group. Not to be morbid, but I saw a guy get killed right in front of me, about not even 75 yards in front of me, probably about from me to that sign right there. And I saw a guy that I was riding in a group with went cooking into a downhill blind left corner, and he was a little bit over the line, and a big truck was coming around the other side a little over the line, and they met in a very bad way. He died on impact. So I've always been leery about group rides, especially sport bike riders, guys that like to really hang it out, get rambunctious on the roads. It's not the place to do that. Ride fast and play like you're on a racetrack, and go to a racetrack. That's probably when I lost my taste a little bit for sport bike riding, at least fast-spirited sport bike riding. The roads, public roads, it's not a track. It's not a closed course. There are too many variables to control, and it's hard to make calculated risks when you don't know all of the factors involved. So for me, it's just not worth the risk. I don't do it. I might go out for a little blasts every now and then, but it's where I can see and control 99% of the variables. Yeehaw! Hey, I got some twisties. Nice. Uphill, maintaining speed without straining too much. I've just gone off 1 bar of the fuel, finally at 37 miles. That's good. Of course, I'm running faster, harder now, so it might not be as efficient. We'll find out. It's getting windy. Flags. It's ripping pretty good. It's getting windy out here. Got another bike. ADV rider. I think it was a Honda CRF 250L. I can tell. This bike is great at this. Just 50-55 miles an hour, tootling along through these back highways and mild twisties. It's effortless. I keep saying it and I'll say it again. I am so impressed with the way the Cub handles. I really didn't expect that it would handle half as well as it does. With the narrow little tires and all that, I thought it would be more scooter feeling, you know, that kind of twitchy front end and not staying in a line very well. This thing tracks a line perfectly, effortlessly. Another little side bonus of dual recording like this, I get to look around again. I was always a little self-conscious about recording with the helmet camera and keeping the camera faced at the road, you know, pointed down the road. That way everybody's not getting dizzy as I'm spinning my head around looking at stuff. But that's the fun part about riding a bike, especially in the country. Look at the scenery. Soak it in. Look at what you're doing. Soak in some of the sights. Some fast traffic coming up from behind. That's nice. Swung it good and wide instead of crowding me over into the shoulder like most of them do. He's got himself a big tornado shelter, it looks like. That's what that is. Man, it is windy. Woohoo! It was a steady 30-mile-an-hour gust right there, pushing me over to the other side of the road. Side of the road here to a photo opportunity of this gorgeous wildflower. Parked the Cub in the middle of it. So I'm still going here. I'm in Chapel Hill, I guess, Brenham, whatever this is. and we're just meandering our way through. The Waze was real quiet for a while, so I thought maybe it shut down. Can't count the number of times I've just been focusing on the ride and traffic and not paying attention really where I'm going. You guys go ahead. Somebody go. So anyway, focusing on the ride, not really where I'm going, and I'll just keep on going. I'll go 15 or 20 miles out of my way because Waze shut down. It's got a bad habit of just turning off. So I have to check it every now and then, make sure it's still doing something. When I have it up on the phone, on the mount, I can see it, but when I just have it in the headset, it doesn't say anything until you need to make a turn. Well, you assume that it's going to be running and telling you that, and you just continue on through the silence. Sometimes it's not working. That looks a little precarious. How you doing, people? Yeah, allergies are starting to kick up. All this wind, I'm sure it's cedar pollen in the air up here. It always gets me. It says I'm supposed to turn left. I think I turn left here. Nope. Can't turn left here. Well, I could. Nope. It says do not enter. Must be this left. Turn left. Okay. Yep. That's West Main. One of these days I'll memorize these routes. I just never take surface streets the whole way. Okay. So now it says I just keep going straight. 45 minutes until I get to Texas 21. I'm watching the fuel gauge to see when it starts flashing. That way I can get an accurate idea of how long it goes on the warning area, and then how long from the warning to really being out of fuel. Bugs. Okay, we just got it. 82 miles and it's just started flashing. Somewhere in there. I'll go back and look at the other camera later, see if it started flashing a little before that. So 80-ish miles, that's about normal. It might be a little more, a little quicker, or lower mileage, considering I'm pushing it so hard. So I'm sure it's probably dropped on its fuel economy a little bit. Dare go too much slower than this out here on this highway, because somebody will probably rear end me from behind, just not paying attention. Save the main camera battery. That way when this thing starts to sputter out, I'll be able to record the final mileage on the tank. Okay, well, we're starting to get into Bastrop area, I think this is. And we're at 108.7 miles, still flashing. If it's getting even 130 miles to the gallon still, then another 10 miles or so in here before it sputters out. Let's see. These little prefab homes are cool. I'd like to get one of those for my backyard. Little playhouse or guest house, something like that. Yeah, I'm doing the speed limit. I'm going to save the helmet cam. I'm going to slow it down. It just started cutting out there for a second. There it is, it's sputtering. So I need to find a place to pull off. That's it, it's running out of juice. So at these crazy highway speeds, I'm going to stop here. Otherwise, I'm not going to have a place to stop. So at those highway speeds, it dropped down to 113-ish miles to the gallon. It's still running, but it was just going, hesitating and sputtering. I'll go ahead and end my fuel exhaustion on there, because this is not a safe place to end up out of fuel in the main lanes. So I'll park myself here and fill up and hit the road. Alright, I'll try to film it with this camera. I think it's got a little more juice left in it. So yeah, I had a pretty long, hard highway run there where I was pushing at 55, 60. Just pretty much flat out. I wasn't wide open most of the time, but I had it cranked open, probably 80% throttle. Yeah, this incline's going to be a problem. Have to hold that open. And let's see if I can maneuver all of this. I've got that lower chest cam that I keep bumping into. Let me see if I can bend it down. Alright, that's better. I can drop my chin. It feels light. I hope my fuel hasn't been evaporating. I hope I don't end up with it all over me. These things tend to get a little pressurized after they've been agitated a while. Okay, yeah, it just feels light. My hands are not weighting it properly, so I don't know if you can see in there, but it's up to the, oh, I just burped it. It's up to that fill line. This will be tricky. I don't have a funnel. Practice for my scooter cannonball run here. Alright, so when I get to a fueling spot, I will fill it up, and then we'll do a little subtraction, adding, subtraction, whatever, figure out what the difference is. 887 mil, 30 fluid ounces, plus whatever I put in at the fuel stop, plus the mileage here, so I'll record this mileage again. That way we kind of know what it did. Hey. Dink. My roadside repair for my license tag is still working. I just grabbed a long weed with a pretty thick stem on it and just tied that up around there. Worked out. So I can get that on there without having to strap. Okay. My redneck retention mechanism here. I'll get a couple of the fuel bottle little pouches that are made for the sides of pannier, hard panniers and whatnot, and I'll figure out if there's a way to strap that or molly ring it or bungee it or something to my other Timbuktu panniers. Hungry. Pack is really leaning now. It's all right. She's staying put. I don't care. Can't go much further. The straps are holding it fast, so it's all right. Contents of the bag are just settling after all the vibration and road miles. Okay, make sure I'm all zipped down. That's on. Pockets are closed, all my stuff. I'm not walking away without anything. Okay. Road time. Yeah, getting it off the center stand uphill might be a trick. There we go. Thought maybe it would hold itself in gear, but it won't. Purrs right up to life. Okay. Oop, dead raccoon. I'm gonna be a dead raccoon if I don't get accelerated up here quick. Okay, so that amount of fuel that I put in there has just got me up to the flashing bar again. That would be less than a quarter of a gallon, I guess. Not even a liter, so 32 ounces would have been a quart, 4 quarts to a gallon. So at 100 and, oh crap, I've got it on the video. Anyway, my mileage on that trip was 112 or whatever. So that's 25 miles of headroom, 25 to 30. 25. So I'll stop up here and fuel up. I'm gonna refill my emergency can too. Echo, and I'm hitting it because I don't want to end up stranded on the side of the road or pushing this thing. So let's get some fuel in this little guy. I think that's my turn. Well, that's a weird place to put the turn, way down here. Okay, here we are. Okay. Oops, left turn gear. So I probably still had another 10 miles in there, but I didn't want to push my luck any further. All right, I'm going to shut this stuff down, at least the helmet cam, and then I'll fill up the tank and the little spare bottle. All right, fresh batteries and everything. Full tank in the batteries, full tank in the bike. I did not refill my little emergency bottle. I'm gonna stop off at Buc-ee's sometime through this trip, and I'll get the ethanol-free stuff to put in there, just in case I don't use it. That way I've got good gas in it that can stay a while without stabilization. Going bad. Like storing ethanol-based fuels for me, like that. They go bad within a couple months usually. Okay, everything's still tight. Pack is sagging, but still firmly secured. It's all good. Nothing's resting on paint. That's all I care about. Set up here and so that's the only entrance where I came in. Reset. I did my manual fuel recording routine because the seat thing is out of kilter here.